What is going on, cyberspace? Welcome to the HyperPixel Podcast. I am MichaelK, and I'm joined today by the man, the myth, the cyberspace hacking legend, the one and only XERAEN. How are you doing today, XERAEN?
I'm excellent. I'm doing quite well. I'm energized. I'm coffee-eyed. I'm all the eyes. I'm ready and willing to hear and willing like that was ever a question. I'm ready and excited to hear what top 3 video games you have chosen for this list that we're going to go through today.
Excellent. I'm quite excited to talk about these games here. These 3 games are near and dear to the MichaelK beating heart. So
that's awesome.
So, yeah.
So how are you doing, MichaelK?
Well, XERAEN, I'm doing better than I was last week. I feel like my voice is starting to get back to mostly normal nowadays. I am consuming this colossal amount of water here.
Oh man!
So hopefully I can not finish this during the podcast, so that it just runs right through me and I have to run away. Because like the last podcast, like probably the last like maybe 10 minutes or so, all I could think about was I gotta pee. So I'm gonna try to pace myself a little bit better there, and I might partake in my little, because I'm addicted to water, my little water situation.
Right.
That whole thing. If you were listening
mystery
to the auditory form, I have one of these. What do you call these things?
It's like I don't know, like it functions as like a humidifier in a sense, but it's really more like just getting your mouth and vocal cords and throat wet.
Exactly.
I'm not going there.
Anyway, insert joke there. So yeah, that's good. What else has been going on? So the Chronicles of Final Fantasy VIII continue. So I got to this point in the game where the game just kept freezing. It was just this cutscene, this like FMV that happened, and it would always freeze at the exact same spot. I cleaned the disc several times. It still would do it. And I looked at it, and it has like just a little bit like of the top of the disc is cut off. So anyway, I bought another disc, just disc 3, as stupid as that is.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
that's sad, dude. I'm sorry.
So the adventure continues. But yeah. So
you didn't know there's gonna be like a real life fetch quest in
right,
this
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
I am eager with anticipation to dive back into the game. But yeah. So what about you? What's been going on in Sector X?
Man, I've been doing a lot more video editing. Those of you who follow all the drum shorts, reels, TikToks, etc., probably have noticed the additional editing that's been going into those, which I think has been, I like the outcome better than what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been spending time on that. Been spending time on figuring out a way to streamline that. I mean, really just trying to work on content creation. We've been working on some upcoming songs. We've been talking about some upcoming ideas that I'm really excited about, so trying to think about some of that.
Yep.
And then there's just like normal life stuff, but that's really been about it. I've been playing too much Vanguard and Warzone. Because they got me with if anybody knows anything about Call of Duty, which I'm no expert, because the first time I ever seriously played Call of Duty was September 2020. So take this for what it's worth. 2120. What am I saying?
Good grief, XERAEN.
I know.
Ridiculous.
Like, I had one of those brain things. So, but anybody knows that like they like barely ever put the games on sale, and it's like barely any discount when they put them on sale. But like, of course, I hear at the beginning they're trying, especially right after the Warzone integration, trying to push Vanguard.
Yeah,
and they had a really good sale on that, and it's like, well, it's clear that some of these guns are going to be meta in Warzone, so they got me. But it's actually I'm not too disappointed that I got it. I mean, it's a really buggy game. Don't get me wrong. It is super buggy, and it should not have been released in the state that it's in. I will state that. But I will say, at least in some, I don't want to defend the game, but at least in some bright spot, it is way better than Cold War.
Yeah.
It's so much better than Cold War. It's not even funny. Like, Cold War is terrible, like, if you ask me. And I know, like, the whole Treyarch thing, they have like different feel to their games and all that. I did not like Cold War. And again, I got it because it was on sale, and I only got it because it was clear that some of the Cold War guns were going to be meta in Warzone. And of course, that's the game they're playing now. But it's like, yeah. But actually, Vanguard, I'm having fun with Vanguard in a way that I never had fun with Cold War.
So when you say you're playing that, you're playing the campaign on that?
No, the multiplayer.
Okay. So what is the difference? Is it just like traditional Call of Duty multiplayer instead of like battle royale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like deathmatch, team deathmatch, domination, hardpoint, seek and destroy. Like they've got like a 24/7 shipment going on right now. It's cool. It's kind of cool. Some of it's annoying, but it's kind of designed for Christmas. The boxes are like packages and stuff, and they got like a Jeep there that's playing like Christmas tunes, stuff like that.
Dude, that random. This reminds me of like back when the Dreamcast came out, and you could get like little DLC, for the games. Back when that was not a thing, and suddenly it was a thing, and it was like, holy crap. And so like they would always have Sonic Adventure, like the holiday themes, like you could download like a Halloween thing, and there'd be pumpkins all over the place, and then like a Christmas thing and trees everywhere.
Dude, that's awesome. I like that kind of stuff a lot. And I think that one of the places where it really, that I guess kind of at the same time, was World of Warcraft, and then also EverQuest 2, but specifically World of Warcraft, because they were really good about how well integrated it was. It really felt like the world was changing.
Yeah.
EverQuest never got as good at that. But it's not a surprise, I guess. But yeah, like going back to Vanguard, it's just all the normal kind of multiplayer stuff that you would expect from a Call of Duty game. And the cool thing is, this is so funny. So I would say, from the time that Call of Duty really became a thing up until a few years ago, I was pretty anti Call of Duty, and I was one of these people who was like, I don't understand why you would make a game where all people, or why you would want to play games. This is from the gamer's perspective, where you don't care about the story, you only care about the multiplayer, right? Because like talking about some of my games, like our favorite games, I really like the narrative stuff, and I really like role playing games, and so I didn't really get that until I realized that look, it's a different way of playing. It's somebody who's playing from a competitive standpoint, not from a narrative, entertaining, I want to play a movie sort of standpoint. But even that being said, the campaigns still have that immersion aspect.
Oh yeah, like every Call of Duty campaign I've played has like, whether it's been like a great story or whatever, like it is a very immersive experience, and I think they do a very good job of making you feel like you're crawling around the battlefield and stuff like that.
The problem that I had, the problem started with Modern Warfare 2019 when I got it and actually installed the campaign. If you've played like the multiplayer first, it's really hard to go and play the campaign in my experience, because it's so slow and it's so restricted, and it's just, you have to like turn off the part of your mind that like, hey, I'm playing Call of Duty, and turn on your mind that, hey, I'm playing or watching a war movie or something.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about games like StarCraft, like that have like the whole multiplayer competitive aspect, and then they have a campaign which is just, it feels so slow and so stripped down from like a multiplayer match where you're just thrown in there and you can do everything.
Right, yeah, and it's hard. I never got into the Modern Warfare campaign, and I know people talk about it's like a really good story and stuff, but it's like I don't care enough, because the reason why I got way into Warzone and then subsequently the multiplayer stuff is just because I do like that competitive element. I've always been a very competitive. That's why I like Magic. That's why when I play Magic, I play constructed and not limited with like, sealed or draft. Not that those can't be competitive, they can, but there's something about having a direct hand and in your how well you do in whatever you're competing in.
Yeah.
Whereas, in limited and Magic, it's kind of random, whatever cards you get. Although there's some skill in draft. But so anyway, going back to the Call of Duty stuff, it's so funny how when you get older and you look at your younger self and the things you did, things you said, and things you thought, you're like, wow, I was really silly and my perspective was so limited and I thought I knew everything and heck, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the multiplayer Vanguard. Like I said, it's way buggy. It's not a complete finished game, and that's pretty messed up, especially considering some of the stuff that's gone on with Activision recently.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, whatever. It's like reality is going to be what reality is in one way or another, I suppose. But it's not. This isn't a time for that discussion. But anyway, one thing I will say is I've seen a lot of opinions both ways on the Warzone update with the new map and everything, and
it's a whole new map.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Verdansk is gone. It's not. It's Warzone Pacific, and it's Caldera. It's this island in the Pacific.
It's been a few months since I played it, probably like 2 months or so.
It's so. I don't want this to become a Call of Duty episode podcast.
It's
but
cool. We're talking about video games and what's going on. So here we are.
So it's a new map, and like the first, like I would say 3 matches I played, I hated it. Like it's so different. The map is so different. But I actually really like it now. I really, really like it. I don't miss Verdansk at all. And part of the reason is, and I know they did this, and I can guarantee you they did this intentionally. You know how in Verdansk, especially like in certain parts of the map, there's a lot of really tall buildings, like especially downtown, right? If you go downtown and you're not like hyper aware, or you're not cleared out and you don't know that, you're kind of safe.
Yeah.
Somebody could be on top of any building, especially the really tall ones, and you're done for. Because they just got a bird's eye view of like everything, especially if they got a sniper on their team. And even in Promenade, that whole like strip, those buildings aren't that tall, but it's like you have such a good angle on anybody that's down on ground level. It's kind of over unless like whoever's on the roof just sucks at shooting. It's not like that in the new map. The new map is like almost completely flat. There's parts of it. Yeah, there's parts of it that they have buildings, and the buildings are like 2, 3, 4 floors. And there's some parts that have some taller buildings. But the parts that have taller buildings generally are kind of more spread out. It's not like condensed like downtown was in Verdansk. And then there's a lot of terrain change. You know how like in Verdansk there's a lot of flat, and then there's like some hills, and then like whatever, there's some valleys. There like it's rocks everywhere and like hills everywhere, and like you're always close to some cover. Yeah. And I really like that.
Yeah, I like that.
There are some open parts, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, there's like cover really close to you no matter where you are. And it's made it a lot more interesting of a game. Like I don't feel like even if I'm going up against somebody who has a better gun, better kitted out than mine, who's a better, marksman than I am, who knows better about tactics than I do, I still feel like I have a fighting chance and I'm not getting insta deleted by him. Right. I can run and I lose all my plates and I'm almost dead, but I can get behind a rock and I can at least start to replay and think about what I'm going to do. And that just those a couple extra seconds to be able to do that has made it a way, way better experience to me. Yeah, and I'm sure there's like that. Yeah, a lot of pros that are like, oh no, it should be skill. But that is a kind of skill. It's just a different context for skill. Anyway, that's been very cool for me. And then the other thing that they did, and this will be the last thing I say, is they created a new mode that's called, and I don't know if it's limited time or what, called Vanguard Royale, where it's the Battle Royale, but only with Vanguard guns and equipment. So no heartbeat sensor, obviously none of the Modern Warfare Cold War guns. And it's really cool, and it's a different experience than... So like the regular Battle Royale is the same map as the Vanguard Royale. So the same maps, but the regular Battle Royale has all the guns and all the equipment. But it is, I don't know how to explain it other than I've just been enjoying it a lot more to play the Vanguard Royale. It also has like planes that you can fly around and like shoot from, and it's
Dude, I love vehicles and stuff like that. I know that, they're not always the best decision to be like, look, here is me. I am here. Blow me
Right.
up. But I just love how ridiculous the concept of these vehicles can be, as far as like, I forgot who, I think it may have been like Brad Nicholson or something. He'd always like one of the first things he did on, I don't know if it was like the first Modern Warfare or something like that, but he got in a helicopter and he's like, all right, load them up, let's do this thing, and then he just like just killed everybody.
What surprisingly, these planes, they're pretty fast, so I mean it's like I don't think you could shoot one out of the sky, or if you I've not been able to, I'll put it that way. I'm not the greatest marksman, but
yeah.
The thing that disappoints me though is so at first they took away Rebirth and they had a second Vanguard Royale mode called Vanguard Resurgence. So it was the same thing as Rebirth, where like as long as a member of your team is alive, you keep respawning until the respawn timer cuts off. Kind of like when the Gulag cuts off in the regular one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed that in Vanguard Royale because it helped you learn the map more because you could play longer without dying. And then, not only that, it's like just the resurgence mode generally, no matter what map, it reduces the penalty for not understanding things, for not understanding what guns are good, for not understanding the map, for not understanding, coordination with your team. And that sounds like a bad thing, but if you're playing with random people, that's a really good thing, especially when there's a new map out. The thing that upset me is that they took it away and then put Rebirth back in its place. And then I was like, well, I still like Rebirth, so I'll play Rebirth. But then I was missing playing the Vanguard one.
Yeah.
And then they switched it out again. And I was like, all right, cool. And then the next day they switched it out again. And so now it's just Rebirth. I don't know what they're doing, why they're doing that. But just put them both in there. People will play what they're going to play. I know they're trying to fill lobbies and this, that, and the other. But it's like, I don't like that personally.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah. All right, I'll stop talking about Call of Duty.
That
Clearly I've been playing too much lately.
That's cool. I every once in a while I get this craving to play Call of Duty. And I mean, to be honest, like I feel like I played the crap out of, you said we're not going to talk about Call of Duty, but here we are talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So I played the crap out of the first Modern Warfare. Like I had that in college. It was one of those games like I was staying up way too late every single night playing that game.
Yeah.
That whole thing. And like I couldn't wait to get home and play it and all this stuff. But I feel like the way that game controls is another one of those like really pivotal moments as far as like controller gaming goes in video games. Like it set a new standard for using like a control scheme and how to control a game, a first person shooter. And I feel like the first Halo did that too, but I call Modern Warfare kind of like, put it up to the next level. And now all these first person shooters have the Call of Duty, controller scheme, layout, whatever.
Right. I mean, I definitely agree with you because like before Warzone, the original Modern Warfare was the first one, or not the first one, it was the most recent one I had played. And I'd only played like a handful of multiplayer matches, and that was like it. And then before that, I played like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like in a demo kiosk or whatever at Best Buy, I think actually.
Yeah.
And so but I think you're right with that evolution thing because I think GoldenEye started it. I think Halo's what brought it into like a more of the modern feeling consoles.
Yeah.
And the thing I think that Halo did so successfully that I think what Modern Warfare did improve on to the extent that I played it is Halo slowed down multiplayer on console because that way one could have an opportunity to figure out, okay, what am I doing? Get used to it. And then I think the later Halos kind of speed up a little bit. I haven't played them much, but then Modern Warfare is definitely a lot faster. right? And it's like, okay, you've had a few years to understand what it means to do
Yes.
FPS on a console. Now it's time to do something real.
Right.
And that's why I really like playing Warzone and stuff. Is because like, especially with mouse and keyboard, dude, like I can move like crazy. Like I watch people playing like on console, and it's like, I don't know how they play moving like that. And I've tried to play with controller, even playing on the PC with a controller.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like my brain isn't developed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a different thing to me playing a first person shooter with a mouse and keyboard versus with a controller. It's just a totally different thing. And like I 1000% recognize that it's more accurate to use a mouse, like 1000%. But it's just not as fun to me. Like I feel like I'm working sitting in front of a keyboard and mouse or something like that, you know?
That's 100% how I feel with the controller. Like it's like it's because I'm a keyboard guy anyway, just generally. And I mean, so much so that like when I speedrun Resident Evil 2, I use keyboard. Like some people hook up a controller because they want to use the controller.
And see, that's cool. Keyboard. That's totally cool. And bro, I will say this till the day I die. Just play the freaking video game. Use whatever hardware you want to enjoy the video game. Just enjoy the video game. Case closed.
Yeah, but if you're using controller on Warzone, you're a aimbot scum. I'm just kidding. I don't believe that. I mean, there is like really significant aim assist, but it's like I understand why. So that's why I tried controller, is because like it is so strong. It's like, man, maybe I should try controller, because like there are actually some streamers who did keyboard and mouse for a long time that recently, like I would say within the past 3-4 months, maybe 6 months, said, look, I just got to change the controller. I'm losing too many close quarters gunfights with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
And it's like, it sucks because it's the guys who are like snipers, right? It's like, and keyboard and mouse is way better for sniping.
Dude, I cannot snipe with a controller. It's just.
Yeah. I don't know. Some guys do it, and it's like, what?
I remember I was like heavy into Overwatch on PC for probably like 2 years ish. And then I got the newest Uncharted, and I felt like I could not aim. Like I felt like I was just, it was tragic. But yeah. Anyway, so
we should move on.
So my choice for number 3. Okay, so let me just reiterate here. So I'm talking about my top 3 favorite video games of all time today. And I love all 3 of these games. These are very close together as far as how much I love them, but they are in order. So speaking of games that kind of like just changed the way we think about like controllers and how you are able to control a character in a video game. This, like, I feel like this became, for me personally, the golden standard, specifically on the N64, and a lot of like 3D platformers and adventure games and stuff like that. Beyond that, like, if a game doesn't control as good or better, than this one, then like it just feels like trash.
Are you talking about Superman 64?
You caught me, XERAEN. You caught me. So I remember getting this VHS here in the mail.
Oh wow!
It's a Nintendo Power N64 VHS, and it had trailers. It just had, I don't remember what exactly it was. It was just like gameplay and like trailers or whatever. I think it had some like technical demos of the N64 on it as well, but featuring the controller, the thumbstick, because that just wasn't a thing at that point in time. It had Mario 64, Pilot Wings, and Shadows of the Empire on it. So I got this in the mail, and I watched this friggin' just on repeat, like it over and over and over constantly. I could not wait to play this freaking Mario game that was on this VHS tape. So, Mario 64 is my choice for number 3. So, for a long time, I didn't realize how much I loved this game until I started to get older and I started really thinking about it. And I realized, like, man, I could literally just do nothing in this game, like not progress at all, just run around in this game, and it would be fun. Like, I feel like this was the first game that I played where it felt like so free, and I could just explore and do whatever I wanted. I mean, not in like a Grand Theft Auto sense or anything like that, but I feel like they 1000% nailed the control scheme in this game. And if you play any 3D platformers, adventure games on the N64, if they do not control anywhere near like this one, they feel terrible. Like, they feel so stiff. But I feel like they nailed that. And I feel like 3D Mario is a different thing from 2D Mario. It's just a totally different thing, and I feel like Sonic is the exact same way, even though I feel like that's much further of a difference. But I feel like 3D Mario is like a totally different thing from 2D Mario. But for the way that they implemented this 3D Mario, I think for what it is, it works very well. And to be honest, I don't think they really nailed that again until, like, I love Galaxy for its own thing, but I don't think it necessarily feels like Mario 64. I feel like Mario Odyssey, the newest Mario, they kind of got back to the way Mario 64 felt.
I gotta get a Switch, dude, because everybody talks about how good that game is. And
it's great, bro. It's yeah. I love Galaxy. I haven't played the second one. I need to play the second one, but I love that first one. It is such a good game. But yeah, Odyssey, it feels like another Mario 64.
I 100% agree with you that Galaxy feels like a departure from the Super Mario 64 formula. Mm-hmm. But well, I don't want to derail this, but like I just want to reiterate how much I love that game, because there's so much to the aesthetic to it, even aside from the gameplay aspect.
Bro, it's just such. I love the way that game looks. Like, I am a sucker. I'm a friggin' sucker for just like nice colors and just all these. We kind of talked about it before with like everything kind of looks edible and all that kind of stuff. Like,
and the music is amazing.
Oh,
like,
dude,
you say Mario Galaxy, and immediately like the music in on the ship or whatever that plays is just immediately in my head. Mm-hmm. And it's just like so peaceful and relaxing, and it's just like you just want to sit and listen.
Yeah. But yeah, like I spent so much in this so much time in this game, running around. Like, as a kid, I was convinced there was these rumors that Luigi was in Mario 64.
You and me both.
And bro, I remember jumping on the interwebs and downloading this, like, it was just a web page that just had this list of he's here or he could be here, just like different ways that people had reported maybe you can unlock him. And I did every single one of those, and none of them worked, obviously. Except for the Game Shark code where you can change his colors, but that's a different.
Oh yeah. Well, wouldn't that be something if, like, after all these years, I mean, I know it's not because people have scoured it at this point, but like somebody's just coming across like the game's code, and like they just read it a certain way, and they're like, he actually is there.
I feel like that actually happened. Like, there was some reference to him. I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know if he was actually in it, but there was some reference to him being in it at some point, but he wasn't, or something like that. Oh, I'll have to confirm that. I totally forgot about that till you said that. But yeah, I just this game for me, I think it was Bethesda or somebody like that. They always would ask their new employees, if you were trapped on an island and forget the whole electricity and all that stuff. If you could have one video game on that island, what would it be? And most people would say their favorite game, but I wouldn't say that. A lot of people, if you really think about it, it's probably not your favorite. It might be, but it might not be your favorite game.
Right.
But for me, I think that game would be Mario 64. Just because I could do nothing in this game and I can just have a good time. Like I played it, I maybe 2 months ago or something like that, and I got a couple stars and then I just ran around and stuff, and it was just it was great. And I feel like they went overboard with all the different stunts and acrobatics and stuff that you can do in this game.
The Mario parkour.
Yeah, exactly. And when you can nail that stuff, like it feels great, man. It feels great.
Yeah. Especially some of and there's not too many places where you have to do very specific, precise movements. But the places that you do, and when you pull it off, it's like, man, that was, it's just like butter. It's like so smooth. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I love that game. And I played that game to death and back, and 120 starred it, and even then didn't stop playing it. So
right, exactly. I wish I still had my childhood copy of it. This is my box. This is my original box. It's not my original game, though. I unfortunately, in the great eBay of 2002, I sold my N64 and all my games. In the grand scheme of things, I bought a GameCube and a lot of GameCube games for about the price that I sold my N64 for, with all the games. And a lot of those GameCube games are actually worth a lot now. So, yeah, I guess, in the wash, it's decent, but I still regret, getting rid of my childhood N64, but whatever.
Sure. I understand that.
And very quickly, I wanted to show off my, signed copy of Mario 64. This is signed by the voice of Mario, Charles Martinet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I freaking forgot what the heck what the official title is, but this is the newest Super Mario 64, the Japanese version. So this is actually a newer version than the US version. It supports the Rumble Pack. They changed a couple things. I want to say they changed, like, for whatever reason, the direction that you when you stand up on a pole or a tree or something, the direction that you will jump at the top, they reversed it for some reason. I think that's accurate.
Maybe for physics reasons.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And they kind of like fixed some bugs here and there and stuff like that. But
wow, that's interesting.
So yeah, Super Mario 64. I could keep just blabbing on about that forever, but I'm not going to.
It's a wonderful video game.
Yes. So, number two. So this is a game that I feel like is, and this is totally debatable, 1000%. But for me, it's like the peak of this series, and I got this game for Christmas. I played it before I got it. I can't remember if I borrowed it or if I rented it, but I had played it before I got it. I think I rented it because I remember I still had like a save file for it when I got it. So I just picked up where I left off. So it was cool. Because
weren't those the days when we finally got memory cards and stuff?
Yeah,
and,
right.
Like, if you rented a game, you didn't have to redo everything.
Right. Oh, that was the worst with the cartridge games. Is you'd put all these hours into a game, and then here you go, take it back. Take my whole weekend with you as well.
Right.
But yeah, so this was I played this on the Saturn. This was back when shockingly, Blockbuster had Sega Saturn games. Who knew? I did. Right. But so this is Mega Man X4 for the Sega Saturn. It also came out on the PS1. I don't know if there's a PC version of this. Maybe there is. maybe there isn't. I don't know. But mainly on the Saturn and the PS1. I don't think there are any differences in the PS1 and the Saturn version. I think they're the same. But yeah, so I played it on the Saturn, and so for me, this game, bro, when you can freaking nail the dash plus jump at the same time, you just feel like a freaking god amongst all these peasant robots. Like you're just bouncing around everywhere you go, bouncing around, latching onto walls, sliding down. It feels all the parkour elements of it, similar to Mario 64. It feels so good when you really nail the controls in this game.
So what you're telling me is like number one on this list is Mirror's Edge for you?
Yeah, exactly. You caught me.
Leading up to it.
Yeah. So for me, this game, I mean, I feel like I love the Mega Man games, and for me, I feel like, similar to how I think, 3D Mario is different from 2D Mario, 3D Sonic different from 2D Sonic. I think the X series is just friggin' different from the original Mega Man series. Like they're different. It's just a different
I'm a casual
thing.
fan of that series, and I can tell you that.
Yeah. It's just a totally different feel. Like I feel like the X series it has more of that speed kind of tactical element to it versus the original series is much slower, but you have to be much more strategic about what you're doing, so you don't wind up in because I mean a lot of the stuff that happens in the original Mega Man series, like those freaking disappearing blocks, stuff like that, that would not matter in an X game. I mean, you could just nail that, it would not be any problem whatsoever.
Right.
But in the original series, that is like, woo, I don't know if I can do this one here.
Let me see if I can remember this order.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so I played the first X game, and then I didn't play X2. I got X3, and dude, when I played X4, it just blew my mind. Like I want to say it was the first like 32-bit sprite-based game that I played. I have this tremendous soft spot for 32-bit sprites. I think they are friggin' gorgeous when they are done correctly. Like like 16-bit sprites are awesome and all that stuff, but there's just something about like the 32-bit sprites. I feel like they could really, I don't know, just it is, everything's just so much more vibrant, I think. And I mean, a lot of like something like Sonic Mania, which came out fairly recently, I feel like that is like styled as if a Sonic game had come out on the Saturn or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So there's just something about that sprite work that's just, I love that kind of stuff. And, in a world where everything is moving over to 3D at that point in time, it was just a breath of fresh air to see some of the sprite-based stuff still happen.
Well, especially with a 3D being as rudimentary as it was at that time, too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love the way this game plays, the controls of it, with the dashing mechanics and all that stuff. I love the way, I love the colors of it. It's just another visual onslaught of colors. The music is, I want to say it's not necessarily like typical Mega Man music. It's definitely in line with the X series, but I feel like it kind of took, the more chiptune stuff and, it's like arranged versions of like what you would hear in like one of the chiptune games. So
yeah,
I love the music. The music is super good. And it has like anime cutscenes in it, for better or worse, some of that stuff is kind of goofy or whatever, but, I don't know, man. There's something to me about it where it just pleases my eyes, and when you can nail the moves, like it feels so good, dude. Feels good, man.
Yeah, I obviously need to play that game. I've only played Mega Man X out of the X series. Is that true? I think maybe I started on X2 at some point. But clearly I don't have a cart for that. And I really liked Mega Man X, but I didn't like it enough to really drive me into playing the other X series games.
Yeah.
And a lot of it probably stems from, I'm a little bit older than you. I got into Mega Man when I was real young.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mega Man, like the first Mega Man game I played was Mega Man.
Yeah.
And so I've played through the series as they've come out, at some point or another, I rented probably all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've beaten a couple of them. And to me, like the original Mega Man formula is so much more Mega Man than Mega Man X. And that's why, I like I said, I agree with you that X series is just, it's a different animal.
Yeah.
And it's a really good game in its own right. But my old school self just prefers the old ones. That's why when they did 9 and then now and 10, like that was like awesome to me because at least 9, I don't never played 10, but it felt more like that original series than the X series to me.
Yeah. So just going back to the original series, I feel like for the longest time, 3 was my favorite of the original series.
Oh wow, really?
For the longest time.
3's really good. I couldn't get over 2. 2 is just has always been the best.
Great.
And always be the best.
But bro, like every time I return to 6, I like it more and more.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I feel like the same way I kind of do about X4, that they just kind of kept building on the formula, and then it got to like, this is it. We're good here.
Yeah.
This is great. But yeah, I don't know.
I need to replay 6 then, because I don't have a stark memory of 5 and 6 for sure.
I played a lot of 5 too, actually, now that I think about it.
I mean, the music's good regardless.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You can't say anything but that for the whole series, really. But yeah, I guess nothing really sticks out in my mind. I didn't play those nearly as much as I played 1, 2, 3, and some 4 a little bit less. But.
Yeah. But yeah, like 6 does like some of the levels have like branching paths.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is cool. It has like little, a lot of the other games have like upgrades that you can get or whatever, but it actually has like, I feel like they're pretty significant, like a suit that like you can wear with like a jetpack. Like that's what he's wearing like on the covers. It's like jetpack suit, whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the cover that has him and Rush on it, right?
I think Rush is on it. Hold that thought. Let me get it. Doing it live.
Yeah. I don't know why that sticks out in my memory. It's just one of those things where like, you see something so long and then somehow it gets like emblazoned on your mind and like it just pops back up.
Lost my plug.
It could be wrong though.
Found the plug. What'd you say?
I was just saying that I don't know why I feel like I remember that. It's just things get emblazoned on your mind somehow.
I think the reason you think that is because he's red on this cover.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. But it has what's his name? I forgot what bird's name is on there.
Oh yeah, don't catch me lying.
But yeah, I really like this game.
Yeah, it's definitely because it's red. That's that connection.
So yeah, I feel like the X series peaked with X4. X5 it's kind of, it feels like more of the same, but without the magic for some reason. And I don't really know why.
Maybe because it's already been done,
I guess. Yeah. And then X6 kind of tapers off from there. And then X7, they started experimenting with like 3D stuff. And so, yeah.
Is that the one we don't talk about?
We don't talk about X7 and 8 and all that. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, Mega Man X4. I had no idea like how much I would grow to love this game when I got it. It's just one of those like, oh yeah, Mega Man, that's awesome. And then, it's like the more I play it, the more I'm like, yeah, I need more of this in my life. This is the only game I have ever considered speedrunning. The only game.
You should do it.
I should. I started learning a while back, but then I got distracted. So
that's all you need to do. Just keep going.
I pretty sure. So specifically, I was speed running it on the Saturn because of the way that you can like very easily do the dash jump. I forgot what buttons it is, but you can very easily hit them together versus on like a PlayStation controller or whatever. You have to kind of like finagle. So
we had to do like claw or whatever.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So anyway, maybe I'll revisit that XERAEN. I don't know. I haven't beaten it with 0 actually. So I do need to do that. That might be a goal of 2022 is I need to beat it with 0 because it is so friggin' hard with 0. Like he just, the final boss is very difficult with 0, but yeah. Okay. XERAEN, are you ready for number 1?
I'm ready, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
I'm sure you do. So I played through a version of this fairly recently on a live stream. And I realized that version of this game is actually not as good as the original. I was kind of surprised by that, kind of just being more aware now of how the original plays and just how games play in general. It was a very interesting experience playing a port of one of my favorite games and just being like, oh, that's a little underwhelming there. But yeah. Anyway, so don't at me. This is one game. So Sonic 3 with Sonic and Knuckles. So Sonic 3 is the first half of the game and Sonic Knuckles is the second half of the game. So if you have never seen these games before, the Sonic and Knuckles portion is a cartridge that has a lock-on mechanic. So you put Sonic 3 in it. And I looked up how this worked a while back. And of course, I'm kind of fuzzy on it now, but I'm pretty sure there's like another ROM on here of the whole thing that when you put the game in, it just uses that other ROM. Okay, I think that's how it works.
So it just uses it as DRM to validate.
Right.
Yeah. I to trigger it to turn on.
I think that's how that works. I need to look that back up. But
that makes way more sense to me
than it hacking the ROMs.
Things I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Like real time replacing code and stuff is like
that's what I've always thought, but yeah, I'm fairly certain that's the way it works. But
that's clever. That's really clever.
Mm-hmm. So I honestly I don't really know why they split these up. I want to say it just the game got too big or something like that, and they just decided screw it, we gotta release 2 cartridges.
So that was intentional from the start then.
I want to say
oh wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. Or at least part of the way through development or something like that.
Yeah.
It got split up. But yeah, so I got this for whatever reason. I don't know why. My mom gave this to me for Valentine's Day. I'm pretty sure I was in the 1st grade when I got this. And I played it. And then I friggin' got stuck on the Barrel of Doom, which if you Google Barrel of Doom, you just do a quick internet search, Barrel of Doom, you will notice that it is a whole thing where there is this barrel in the Carnival Night Zone in this game, where the game locks you in this room. It just locks you in a room, and the only thing in the room is this barrel. And I guess that was their way of saying, figure this out. So, as a kid, I kept on thinking, what have I done wrong? The game's punishing me. I'm trapped in here again. I'm in jail. And then, time runs out whenever you hit 10 minutes in a Sonic game and you die, and then you have to do it all over again. So this happened many, many times. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to stop playing. And then eventually I got, so Sega had a magazine called Sega Visions. It was like their Nintendo Power. And they had a little like walkthrough section for Sonic 3 in it. And they say, oh, by the way, all you need to do is jump on the barrel and hit up and down and you can make the barrel go further and further and further, and then you can get past that part. Like, totally a mechanic that is not explained or, like, I don't know, even implied anywhere in the game. It just is there. So it's kind of cool if you go back and play, like, every single one of those barrels you can do that with, and you can, you know, get to other places or like glitch into floors and crap. But anyway, but yeah, so it totally sucked getting trapped there forever, and then, you know, getting a magazine being like, oh, of course that's what you do. And then, you know, continuing on with the game, and then getting to the end of the game, and then, you know, it doesn't really say like to be continued or anything like that, but, you know, it just kind of like amps up very quickly and ends. And you like, you fight 2 final bosses, and then it just kind of ends. So anyway, that's where Sonic and Knuckles picks up. I don't know if the intention is that Sonic 3 takes place immediately after Sonic 2. It kind of sort of feels like it. I was thinking about this the other day, where so you destroy the Death Egg at the end of Sonic 2, and then everything's falling. Tails catches you on the tornado, his plane, and then Sonic 3 picks up with, like, you're on the tornado and you have the emeralds, you have the Chaos Emeralds, so implying that you, like, you know, either still have them or just got them or whatever. And then you're, like, you know, on the ground, and then, you know, suddenly Knuckles jumps out of nowhere and takes the emeralds from you and all this stuff. So I don't know how much time actually happened. I don't know if there's actually like a total like lore discussion of this whole thing or whatever. But yeah, so that happens, and then, you know, like the whole thing is like Robotnik tricks Knuckles into thinking that Sonic is the bad guy, and he's after the Master Emerald, which is what Knuckles is tasked with his life to protect. So that's like the story of the game. It's like, I feel like, and that's another thing I really like about this game, is it's the first time that a Sonic game actually kind of had a story to it beyond just like, there's a bad guy and he's turning all these animals into robots. Yeah. Let's do the thing, you know? I really like how the continuity of the levels. Like, it's not just here's a level. It's like they actually connect the dots a little bit. Like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, jump in this cannon and get launched into this other area, or I'm, like, you know, falling down this waterfall into the water level. I mean, it's a little detail, but I think it's really cool that they kind of, you know, made it feel a little more seamless like that.
Oh yeah, it brings the world to life more. Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, so at the end of Sonic 3, the first half of this video game, if you will, you're fighting Robotnik, and then you kind of take down the Death Egg, but it just kind of like, it doesn't like blow up or anything. It just kind of like falls. And then Sonic and Knuckles picks up where it has landed on the ground, and you're in this mushroom place for, you know, seemingly no reason, because Sonic, I guess. Anyway, so the story kind of starts to unfold a little bit more in this one, where you progress through it. Knuckles is just a pain in the beehole the entire time until he realizes that there's like a little cutscene that happens. Some cool little like extra like sprite work that they did with Knuckles, which it's where Robotnik is actually like stealing the Master Emerald, and then Knuckles realizes that, hey, Sonic is actually like, you know, on my side, and then Knuckles starts helping him from then on. And so yeah, it's this whole, you know, this whole thing, the whole character arc. It's very deep, extremely deep.
Moving.
Yeah, truly. But yeah, I and then, you know, then he uses the Master Emerald to get the Death Egg back up in the air, and then he's lifting off into space, and then you go into space, and then you defeat Robotnik, and then the Death Egg explode. You know, it's this whole ordeal and whatever. So anyway, that's the story of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, children. So gameplay wise, I love the bosses in this game. I feel like they're a little more puzzly than a lot of other Sonic games are, where a lot of other Sonic games, like, you just have to figure out where to hit him,
right,
or the enemy or whatever. Versus this game is a little bit more like, well, maybe he just has to hit himself, or maybe I have to lead this dude off into the distance so he like jumps in something that's going to kill him or something like that. So there's a little bit more of a puzzle aspect to that, that part of it. So I think that's cool. And I love the sprite work in this game. It's a little more, I guess, a little more vivid than some of the other Sonic games are. I don't really know why that is, but it's just, yeah.
Well, probably because they already had the character. Well, at least they had, Sonic and Tails and Robotnik, and they already had those characters, and they probably had a lot of assets from the previous games. And so instead of spending design cycles on creating new sprites, it's just, we'll take the sprites you have and how do we, make them look even newer, shinier, fresher, etc.
Yeah. So yeah, that, and then the music in these games is just grade A bangers across the board. Like, it's so good. And so there was this theory in the early 2000s that Michael Jackson was involved in the soundtrack, and it's been basically confirmed without, like, several people that have been involved with it have said, yeah, this is a true thing. It's a little foggy why he's not credited in the game. Some people say that they didn't want to, he was disappointed with the way the Genesis sounded with what he was writing. And so he pulled out and didn't want his name on it. Someone at Sega was saying, what did they say? He said that when he pulled out of it, that they got some other composer in there, and that he reworked a lot of the music and whatever. But if you there's like a quote from one of the composers, and he's like, "Yeah, no, we left most of it alone, actually." So yeah, it's this whole weird thing that, nobody knows. Well, I'm sure somebody knows the official answer to it, but nobody's, saying this is what freaking happened. So
sure.
So anyway,
probably a lot of contractual reasons for that.
Yeah, that whole thing. And there's been all this weirdness with this getting re-released in general recently.
Oh yeah.
They've, like, over the past decade, I think, like, they've really only released every Sonic game except for this one, like, in different collections and stuff like that.
Well, that's clear what's going on there.
Yeah. And there are some really, really good. I don't really know if they're ports or how they were done, but there's a guy, the lead developer that was behind Sonic Mania. He did these, I'm just going to say they're ports, but these ports of, like, Sonic CD, Sonic 1, Sonic 2 for, like, for modern consoles, for phones, for tablets, and all this stuff. He, like, made it widescreen. He added some stuff in it, like you can change, like, different options, like you can put Japanese music in it or the US music in the games. And I want to play this. So in the Sonic 2 one, there was a Sonic 2 beta ROM that got leaked at some point.
Oh,
and there's a level in it called Hidden Palace Zone that didn't make it into the final game.
Okay.
And he actually built out that level and put it in Sonic 2. So it's actually hidden in Sonic 2. If you've ever played Sonic 2, in Mystic Cave Zone, there's this pit. There's this spike pit that if you fall in it, you're dead. That's just it. It's just like a bottomless pit kind of thing, but there's spikes down there, and you fall in and you get stuck and you're dead. So he actually removed the spikes in this, and then if you fall down there, you will fall into Hidden Palace Zone. So pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool little detail there. So I want to play through that at some point, but yeah, anyway, the music in this game is so good. If you look up composers for this game, there's like a huge list of composers on this game. So it's no telling how many hands touch the music on this, but dude, like it's so good. And apparently the music that I don't know if it was like the demo version of this game, like a prototype of it or something. There was like prototype music in the game before they got the final music for it. And the prototype music is actually what's in there was like a PC release of this game way back in the 90s.
Oh man.
And that prototype music is in it. And it is just like freaking horrible. Like it is very clear. It's just like placeholder music. I've always been under the impression like, how bad could it be? But no, like it's bad. It's not good. It's not pleasurable to listen to.
The music in a Sonic game is so much part of the experience and always has been. I mean, even from, Green Hill Zone in the first game.
Yep.
Think about this. The first song you ever in in game, like sets up the entire series. Cause like dig it. So it's like speeding up just like he does when he spins, right? I mean, it's like this whole like metaphorical thing in the music going on. It's just awesome.
So yeah,
it's such a huge part of the whole series, and to change it is just almost sacrilege.
Right, exactly. And not all the songs were like that, but the good ones were. Like Ice Cap is not in the PC version. It's just like some weird like, and like a lot of those winter sounding songs, in games are like usually they're pretty good. Like this is just like freaking what is happening? Am I just like walking around in some like ice cave or something? Like I don't know. It's just and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I don't really have much else to say about that game. That's another one that I can just ramble on about forever. But dude, I don't know. For me, again, it just kind of took Sonic up to that next level. Kind of like that's how kind of like all three of these games are. Honestly, I feel like it just took the formula and like did a new thing with it.
So what's your favorite level from Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
Woo. I want to say and this is probably has something to do with the music, to be totally and completely honest with you, but probably, oh dude. And I say that and I start thinking of other levels that are so good. So I love Ice Cap. I love Ice Cap. I think it was so cool to see Sonic bust out on the what you call it, the snowboard there, and like snowboard down the mountain. Like you can't do anything but jump, but it's just like it's so cool. It's so cool.
It's like it's such an iconic Sonic thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like and this is just kind of a side note about Sonic games. I feel like Sonic games, people get frustrated with Sonic games because they want to go fast and they keep on messing up and dying. And it's like, well, no, the speed is more of a reward than, you just being able to
just get it.
Yeah, you don't just get it. You have to earn the speed. And I mean, sometimes the game does give it to you where like, sure, you just hold right and you just blast through a bunch of stuff and it's cool visually. You say what you will gameplay wise about that, but it's more of like a visual, reward for getting through a bunch of crazy platforming or whatever. Or if you really learn the game, then your reward is you can blast through the whole game like that. Right. I think that's how some of the best Sonic games, how their design is good versus games that are not designed very well. I'm just like walking the whole time because I'm scared to, do anything, because I think the game is going to, it feels like the game is going to punish me for speeding basically.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I totally know what you mean. I mean, big time, like, NES era in 16-bit era platformers. There's so many games like that where it's like understanding, where the actual ledge is in a pit or something like that. It's not always as clear as what it looks like in a lot of games because like the hitbox of your character is wider or narrower than what you think it is based on because it's poor design versus the sprite or whatever.
Right.
It's like, ugh.
But yeah, that moment at the beginning of Ice Cap is so it's a cool moment in general. But it is an insanely excellent reward because the thing that you just did before that was you played this Carnival Night Zone where you probably got stuck for months with this freaking barrel. And you beat this level and then you're freaking snowboarding down a mountain. Like, how awesome is that? So anyway, I love that level. I love the music in that level. I love Flying Battery. That I think I probably like the Flying Battery Zone music the best. It's
okay,
just,
yeah.
Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. So I love that level. And what was the other one I was thinking of? Lava Reef.
Oh yeah. Oh, the music in that's so
it's
good.
So good. And it's specifically the second act of that, like so all the lot, like the first act, like, you know, there's lava everywhere, fire, you're in a freaking volcano or whatever. Yeah. And then the second act, for whatever reason, all the lava has dried up. So, but everything is like, it's very blue and like peaceful looking. Like there's still some flames and stuff you have to dodge, but it's just like, it just has this really peaceful feel. And the music is just the music in the first act is like, I feel like it's pretty energetic, but it's still kind of like calm at the same time. But I feel like the music in the second act, it maintains a little bit of that energy, but it's just so much more peaceful and calming. It's just like this feeling to the whole thing, you know?
Yeah. Good stuff.
So yeah. And what the last thing I'm going to say about this game. So in this game, for whatever reason, there are 14 emeralds that you have to get, not just 7. So if you get the first 7, you have to get them in the Sonic 3 portion of the game, and then you can become Supersonic, as you do in Sonic 2. And then once you get to Sonic and Knuckles, you have to get the Hyper Emeralds. I don't know if that's actually what the name of them is. They're more Chaos Emeralds that Knuckles is guarding, whatever. And so you get the next 7 emeralds, and then you can become Hypersonic or Hyper Tails or Hyper Knuckles. And it was like super cool because he's like, Sonic's like, well, all the characters like flashing all these colors, and they have like blur behind them. They have like multiple like, you know, translucent sprites behind them. So that it looks like they're like going super fast. And like Sonic can do this thing where you jump and then you jump again and you dash forward and it flashes the screen and kills everything on the screen. And Tails has these freaking birds that are just going around his head. This is like easy mode. They're going around his head and then they just home out and kill everything on the screen.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think Knuckles does anything special. Pretty sure he got the shaft on that, but yeah, it's and then in order to fully beat the game, you have to get all 14 emeralds, and then you can play the final boss where you're flying through space. You're going really fast. Robotnik has the Master Emerald, and you're hunting him down. You're chasing him, and then you're just like you're flying around him, and then it's another one of those kind of puzzle things because it's like I don't freaking know what to do here. And when you're Hypersonic or Supersonic, you have to get 50 rings for those of you who don't know, and then you can turn into Supersonic or Hypersonic, and then the rings start counting down from there. And if you run out of rings, then you lose your power. And if you're in space and you lose your power, you die. So you basically have a pretty swift time limit here to beat this level. But yeah, so it's another one of those puzzle things where you figure out, oh, I have to make him hurt himself, you know? So
yeah,
cool little puzzle mechanics there. But yeah.
Yeah. Man, good games.
Mm-hmm. Oh, XERAEN. It was good. It's good. I need to stop talking about these. We could talk about the music in all 3 of these games even more, but we're not going to do that. So
topic for another day.
Exactly. Our favorite video game soundtracks.
Oh man. Oh, that list is so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not going to rank that. No way. No sir.
Yeah. We might have to have a limit though on how many we talk about.
Right. Well, XERAEN, I'm looking forward to hearing your top 3 next week.
Yes, I'm sure you probably could guess all three, but I know you can guess at least two.
Yeah.
I bet you could guess all three if you thought about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I'm gonna refrain from spoiling myself. I want to be surprised with everybody out there in cyberspace land.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about those games, and we'll definitely have to keep an eye on the clock next week.
Yeah, definitely.
It could go quite a while.
Right. Yeah, I kept looking at the clock for myself, and I was like, oh, probably should not do that. But anyway, cool. So, XERAEN.
Yes, MichaelK.
Where can all the lovely people of cyberspace land find you out there in cyberspace?
You cyberspacelings can find me at XERAEN.net, XERAEN.net, and that'll take you to a link tree to all the various places in the cyberspaces where you can see my face, singular.
I love it. Similarly, MichaelK.net will take you to my link tree listing of all the things, all the social media things, the YouTubles, the Twitchlers, all the things. So yeah, Spotify, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, even. SoundCloud is kind of
you got a SoundCloud, dog?
I do. SoundCloud's kind of like a hidden gem on that list. If you seek it out, it has some like demo music that I haven't released anywhere else. So yeah,
isn't it like it's like Hidden Sound Test?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I need to rename the link on there, not to say SoundCloud, just Hidden Sound Test.
Yeah, do it, man. That's so it fits the theme.
I love that. That's in XERAEN.
Awesome.
Well, cyberspace, it has been most excellent. Most excellent. I'm not thinking about peeing this time, so I'm not going to call this the CyberPixel whatever the heck I said last time. When all I could think about was I have to pee. Cyberspace, thank you so much for joining us on the HyperPixel Podcast. It has been most excellent. We are thankful you have been here, whether it has been on the YouTubles watching our beautiful faces talking about these things, or in some auditory format. We're thankful for you. We are thankful that you have been here with us, and we are looking forward to seeing you next time. So we will catch you out there in cyberspace land. Later, hackers. Deuces.